you've got a ton of money, and you're throwing a ton of money at your campaign. That's how the game is played, and I think you guys have been pretty upfront about that, how the game is played. You've put a tremendous amount of your own money into your campaign. But if the money is to the regular guys, that's unlimited. That the idea of buying a race, it may put in the minds of some people that if that's how the game is played and you've got the most amount of chips, what reason do you really have to listen to the regular guy and what they need?
Yeah. See, I think it's actually impossible to buy elections. What I'm trying to do is get my message across to Californians so they can decide. And I want to run an effective, smart, well-organized campaign, and I want to tell people what my message is, what I stand for, what my values are, and voters will ultimately decide. I think voters are really smart. I think they sort all this through. And so what I'm trying to do is say, hey, here's the 3 things I stand for. Here's why you should believe I can get it done when it has been really hard to get it done, as you point out. And here's the way I operate. So that's what we're trying to do here. And it's also true, that I've raised a lot of money. I've raised more money than any candidate in California, frankly, any Republican candidate in the country. And that, I think, demonstrates a willingness of people in California to invest in a different vision for the future of California. My view is that the very best way to sustainably increase revenues in the state of California is put people back to work. Without more employers who employ more people, then your tax rate is draining out of here. I mean, most of the tax revenues in this state are sales tax, personal income tax, and corporate income tax. So all 3 of those have to be healthy. And so I think I would, instead of trying to sort of, eke out incremental pieces of revenue, which I understand why that may be, what he's trying to do, I would fundamentally go back to first principles, which is we've got to change the business climate here. This has to be the best place to start a business, the best place to expand a business. And we shouldn't lose another job to a neighboring state. We just shouldn't.
Meg Whitman is our guest. I'm Chris Daniel on KMJ. A little bit about the race. Jerry Brown is not declared. Is there any doubt in your mind that he will?
No, I think he will. I mean, I think he's been making all the noises, but he has been hiding, that's for sure.
What about Dianne Feinstein? Are those rumors still something you're having to pay attention to, that she might run?
I hear it from time to time. I don't know what Dianne will do. But either way, I think we have a good shot at getting the message out about, let's have someone, who has real business experience, who's created jobs, who's balanced a budget, who really understands what it takes to create an environment for small businesses to grow and thrive. So it'll be a career politician versus, a business person.
Meg Whitman is our guest. You guys seem to have the Poizner thing, and you've got a whopping lead on this guy. It's at least 28 points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a race, and this is a contest, and to the victor go the spoils. But I got an awful. I was surprised at the amount of contact little old me got from your campaign about wanting to talk about Poizner last week and putting Rob on and all that. Almost. I mean, that's a rearview mirror to you, I would think. Is there still concern about that, or is this damage control?
No, I thought that it was. A mountain was made out of a molehill. And, I thought Scott Herhold at the San Jose Mercury News said it perfectly. I mean, he basically said, Steve's desperate, and he's so desperate that you have to wonder whether his reservoir of common sense had deserted him completely. So, that's where I come out on this issue. And I think California voters, they want to talk about jobs, they want to talk about cutting government spending, they want to talk about how their child's school is going to be better next year and the year after, and what we're going to do to turn around the state. So I think this is a little bit of a political sideshow, and I think we'll get back to the issues.
Did he believe that Jerry Brown wasn't running for governor when he filed to the Attorney General?
I don't know.